All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like these videos. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so a lot on the plate today. Um, I guess the first thing we should start off with is Apple. I saw a comment here from Painless. He says, "Great morning, sitting on Palantir, Nike thoughts. Thanks for Apple. You're welcome. Good morning. Good morning." Let's just go over Apple right quick. You know, the elephant in the room. I think Painless was yesterday. I think he was in at like 79 cents on these calls. These are the calls that he was in, $8.45. That's pretty crazy. If he held, got in at 79 cents. That's about 969% on Apple on those contracts. That was the move if you bought at 79 cents yesterday. I did not buy at 79 cents. I got it at 220. So great trade, obviously, but me being gun shy, what happened with the flip with Nike, the flip with FCX, of course, I tell everybody to take 40% and move on. But this is why we have runners. Thank God, because then I'd be really sad. So you could see a great trade all around. I'm proud of everybody. I mean, everyone caught Apple just what the doctor ordered. Last week was not our best. We had the first time we had 2 losses in a week since April 19th. We got some oil trades that are really hanging over our head. But listen, this right here is what makes me love what I do. And it's really hard to juggle as much as I can. But man, you guys crushed it. Congratulations to everybody in the server who caught Apple. I believe Apple was also posted on the Instagram as a freebie. So hopefully that may have upset the XOM trade that we sent out too, because that's looking rather ugly. But we'll get there. But Apple, an absolute monster. Again, like we talked about, you know, it was either going to break out or reject, and we rejected yesterday with that WWDC. We held those options. It was not an easy hold, guys. To get to where you want to be here at 845, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to hold that. So, you know, yes, you do have these high percentages. People make money, but hey, you work for that. Very, very tough. So, congrats to everybody. In terms of Apple, what am I thinking? Listen, this thing soared big time. I would love a retest to 199 and see if we could bounce from there. That's really it. Maybe if we get to 203, we could play a bounce if there's some momentum in the stock market. That pivots us to the stock market now. Dow futures up 337. The Nasdaq's up 0.92%. S&P up 0.8%, 88%. The Russell up nearly 3%. All of this right here is because of CPI, guys. CPI came in softer than expected. Let's go over those numbers together. This is from the Live Market blog. If you guys are interested in joining the Live Market blog, take a look at the scroll at the bottom. We also did a live poll. 62% of voters said bullish higher, so they got it right. Well done. Here was the JPM roadmap. Below 0.2%, the probability was 2.5% that was going to happen. Gain 1.75 to 2.5%. We are now only at 0.88%. So here is the actual number. 3.3% on a year-over-year basis. That's below 3.4. If you guys remember, really since 2022, if you've been watching the Morning Note, we've been kind of tracking that down. We played the softness of inflation really since the beginning of 2023 because we talked about the data points falling off in comparison to those spikes, right? We talked about, hey, once we get below the 6 handle, the 5 handle, the 4 handle, look how far we've come together, team. 3.3% now. On a month-over-month basis, this is nothing new. I mean, but flat inflation, 0.0%. That's really great news. Again, the market's going to cheer that. Come on. And what does that mean? That means lower rates, 4.299% on a 10-year basis, 104.43 on the dollar. We're back below 105. The VIX is at 4.5% to the downside at 12.27. Indeed, we are so back. Fed swaps fully pricing in a quarter point cut in November. I believe that September will be the first cut, and this will just really accelerate that. The question is, will Powell comment on this CPI today? The last time that we had a CPI day and a Fed day was COVID. I think that was probably the last thing on anyone's mind at that point when we had lockdowns and all this stuff going on during the pandemic. So that's what we got in terms of the CPI. Crude oil's up 1.5%. Thank God. Gasoline's up, gold's up, silver's up, copper's up. Maybe this will be that jolt. I mean, guys, we're still early innings of this bull market. Remember, the bottom was in 2022. Just to fix that bear market was to get to where we wanted to be since the fall of 2022 January. That was the previous all-time high. We're just breaking that. So we are just getting that leg higher as we go. And really the last kind of nail in the coffin for higher stock prices will be lower interest rates and a lower dollar. And that's what I expect moving forward. Let's answer some questions. Damn, painless. 76. He got in at 76, excuse me. He got in at 260, $4 and $5. That's what I like to hear. Well done. SPY all-time highs. That is correct. Good morning. Does Tesla move higher today? Tesla has something hanging over its head, guys. And it's the Elon Musk voter thing, the voting for his pay package. I think it was some stock options. We don't know if that will pass. I don't know at that end. So to predict people's votes is a whole different ballgame than predicting price action. That's the only risk here. Again, we're still chopping. I think Tesla, as of right now, until you break above 187 or below maybe 165, this is dead money, guys. You really can't do much. While the stock market is soaring, I mean, Tesla's up slightly. You're not going to get a lot of attraction of flows into an EV car company just at this point. All the money is going to what team? Semiconductors. Everyone loves semiconductors. NVIDIA. Everything's NVIDIA at this moment. Even though NVIDIA was red yesterday, but everyone loved Apple yesterday. MBLY banger. Oh, now it's up. I think, did you ask me that on the DM, I believe? I don't know exactly. Mobile Eye, I guess. It's right at the 50 MA on the 1 hour, and it's bouncing off it. If you're on the daily, yeah, you rejected that 200. Tough. I don't know much about this company. Hey, Carlos, do you think AMD will bounce back? AMD's looking like getting into that Tesla territory. Imagine that. You're in one of the hottest sectors. SMH and Micron hit highs. We know what NVIDIA is doing. Broadcom doing well. TSM doing well. Even Qualcomm. Yet AMD is just chopping around. It's at the 200 MA on the 4 hour. It broke below the 50, guys. More than likely, you're going to fill this gap here, but it did bounce. So you do have the softer CPI. Maybe the bottom is in here, but this right here doesn't look anything appealing to trade on AMD. So I'd be rather neutral on it. I got burned last week on them, so bad taste in my mouth there in terms of AMD, to say the least. What are your thoughts on unemployment increasing, possible near recession? No, the problem is actually we don't have enough workers. We do need more workers. The problem is here, demand is still strong and prices are falling. This is rather unprecedented. This is what a soft landing looks like. And again, we haven't really had that in recent history. It's either we have high inflation and recession just destroys it and we just bounce back. But the fact that the labor market is so strong still, I mean, we had a great payroll report just from last week. Now, again, we can only go by the data we got. If we can do anecdotal evidence, oh, my friends don't work and it's hard to find a job. Again, that could be regional. I mean, we could say that about pretty much anything, real estate, employment in localities. I mean, just depends. Do I see a recession anytime soon? No, I don't. Recession to me is pretty much at a zero because now that you're going to cut rates, this is actually inflationary and this is a demand inflation. This is not supply side inflation like we had with the supply chains and all that back in 2022. This is people working, traveling. We had the highest ever traffic through TSA on, believe that was the Friday Memorial Day. Like that was the highest ever. I mean, people are out living their lives. They're shopping, they're going out to things, concerts, events. Yes, and prices are falling. They just reported that 3% drop in airline fares in the last CPI. Again, anecdotal evidence when it comes to the labor market, it can always be taken in. But in terms of a recession, no. The only thing, in my opinion, that would cause even a severe recession in the near term, you would need you need a war, basically, at this point. You need like an invasion of something, so something really bad to happen. China invades Taiwan type stuff. where it really gets messy. And even that, guys, long term war is bullish for markets, which is so terrible to say. But at least in the macro side, it again, depending on what the Fed does, if the Fed starts cutting now, then you're really not going to have a recession because now money's cheaper. Now businesses can expand a little bit. You're going to get refinances on homes. You need to hire people to handle that volume of mortgages that are going to be refinanced from those high rates. You're going to need people to handle the demand as people have more money in their pocket as interest rates go down. Even in the fact of consumer credit, if you're doing one for one, not inflation adjusted, it is actually in the lower band of 2017. It's just that the money, and actually high inflation helps debtors that are fixed loans, fixed credit. So again, there's many ways to look at it, but no, I don't see a recession anytime soon. Sorry, I went totally in different tangents there. BJ versus Costco stock buy. Ooh, I'm gonna say Costco, not because for any particular reason of financially. I just think I like Costco more. Costco is, I mean, listen, all time highs of what can you say? BJ's wholesale club. Let's see if there's a little bit more. I think you just go with the tried and true in Costco. And again, I haven't researched BJ's. I'm pretty sure you can kind of look at them the way Walmart and Target are. Maybe not the exact one for one. I say this, if you like wholesale clubs and that kind of retail, buy both. Own both. Own the leaders. It's like cloud. Own the leaders, Amazon and Microsoft, and forget the rest. That's how I see it. I've been saying that for 4 years. Again, everyone's been telling me Snowflake and Salesforce and Oracle, and I say I'll stick with Amazon. I will stick with Microsoft. They're my cloud boys. I think the two, it's like Pepsi and Coke. Just stick to the leaders. And Dr. Pepper actually is above Pepsi now. Burberry, I don't know their ticker, but I'll skip to BABA. Or maybe did you mean BABA? BABA at the moment, I just read this morning that the EU is adding tariffs to EV vehicles from China. So we're starting to get kind of that West versus East Cold War tariffs over another now, economically at least. So that doesn't make me happy to look at BABA here. BABA's back into a range to the downside, and we may be getting a little more weakness in China. There was an article I read yesterday that the Chinese market, the consumers, had the biggest bank run in, I think, 5 years in BABA or something like that. I have to look at the article exactly how long, but it was a very big drawdown in terms of bank notes, bank money. I mean, it doesn't seem good to be into anything China at the moment. I know we had a nice spurt in May, but it seems like we were kind of rotating out now, and not the best thing to look at. I think there's better opportunities out there. Let's see, Roger. Thanks. Will do. Dr. Pepper, coconut cream. I just like regular Dr. Pepper. Really great. Anyone from Texas knows Dr. Pepper and Whataburger, the best combination. SMCI, calls or puts. Now, here's a name that we haven't spoken about in a while. SMCI. Listen, look at the setup. This is actually pretty bearish. So we got to get below 700. The problem is that when you got this kind of CPI action, that's probably not going to happen at the moment. So I would say put the alert at 700. If you break that, then we can have some fun. If you get above 900, then this would be a breakout on this wedge. So you got a couple of ways to do it. It's a big range. I know, very big range. But as of right now, look at the daily. I mean, this is just chop. This is just going to burn your premiums, and you're better off just waiting for a break, in my opinion. Well, Nike hit today. There we go. Nike is up. Obviously, CPI helping. So let's go to the 4-hour chart or 1-hour chart. Much easier. All right. Remember, this is the gap fill on the daily. So our target is really 99.73. We got above 97.97. That's where we were 27%. I did not close. Good news. Apple was 27% as well. We didn't close. Thank God. Little heat there, but we took it. I equate both the same. Nike, we took a little heat. This was their WWDC, whatever. Not really the Worldwide Developer Conference, but similar price action to Apple. Now we're getting a little bit of a bounce. I don't expect Nike to go to 108 or anything like Apple yesterday, but I do expect that this will be cheered ahead of Powell. So the goal today is if we can get Nike before Mr. Powell speaks at 2:30, I think we're going to be fine. I really do. I still like it for more upside, obviously. And even me and Masterclass, we did Palantir calls yesterday. So you could see this wedge breakout, and you could see if we're doing a little more channel stuff, kind of getting to the top end, 25 being the target. And if we get above 25, you go to 26 calls. I like Palantir to go a lot higher. So that's going to be one I'm going to be having on the watch list moving forward. So masterclass, guys, we're up about what, 20, maybe 40 cents. We could take it in the morning ahead of Powell, and then we'll see if we re-enter above 25 or hold it, whatever you. My class guys, they know what's up. They have their own thing going on. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I got to go ahead and type up the pre-market report for my team on the option signal side. Thanks for being with me as always, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. We have PPI tomorrow. Oh, more stuff. We'll see you then. Cheers.